Hello and welcome to the XPReport. You got me, Kieran, and Ronnie. This is the first time we're doing this, so sit back and enjoy. We'll take you through some news. We'll talk about some gaming-related, tabletop-related, industry-related stuff that we find interesting.
A little bit of everything, hopefully.
And not too much of it, but yeah. Ronnie, introduce yourself, Ronnie, and I'll take it after.
Yep, my name is Ronnie. I go by Ronnie Crazy on all social media. You can call me Ronnie, whatever you want. I've been in the social space for a long time, the better half of my life at this point. 37 years old. I think I started putting content out at 17 here and there. Been full-time streaming for the last 8 years and wanted to always do a podcast thing, and now Kieran here has brought me in on this idea that he's got, and I think it's finally time, and I'm really excited.
Sounds good. I'm Kieran. So I've been working in games-related stuff for probably about 10 years. Moved in and out, doing some jobs and stuff. And started doing my own tabletop stuff. Got to release my own game, Sacred Acorn. I worked on a great team with. Now working on Highwinds, which is a TTRPG. So just anything all related to the hobbies, the games. Love to do it. And like with Ronnie, I've started a few podcasts and just want to keep doing it. I like chatting about stuff. So hopefully you guys like listening.
Yeah. It's real fun to just go back and forth and get each other's inputs, get other people's inputs about things, and it helps us broaden our horizons too a little bit.
Yeah, this is probably mostly just stuff that we would normally talk about privately because we both rant about gaming stuff. Now we're just recording it.
Oh, so much.
which is good. All right, the first news. So we're gonna go through some quick hits, I guess, of the last 2 weeks, and we'll try and keep it short and not tangent too much, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
So each of us have put in some news things, and we're just gonna go over it. So, the first thing we're going to talk about is I think it's Paizo and Talzorian are going to start publishing for smaller projects, which I think is really cool. So they make Pathfinder, and Paizo makes Pathfinder, so them being able to throw their weight around for especially people that are outside the US or outside the bigger countries, being able to get into there is really awesome. There's definitely some other groups that do this as well, which is they will work with smaller publishers or solo devs like myself to make to get books printed or even funded, if you need funding for art and stuff, and get those things out there. So they're looking for both. They're looking to work with and publish stuff and do sort of print runs and the getting things out, the distribution of it. I think it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think it could be a pretty big thing if done the right way.
Yeah, I think their timing is pretty good because it's going to be harder for smaller creators with the current climate of, especially print on demand from drive-through going up almost 70% in price for some areas and some products. So having just doing stuff in bulk costs a lot less, and this might actually be a cheaper solution for some people.
Hopefully it works out.
So, yeah, go check that out. I'll leave a link in the show notes afterwards. Warhammer Space Marine 3 officially in development, which I'm not shocked. I'm shocked I'm hearing about it so quickly after Space Marine. I feel like Space Marine 2 came out last week.
Yeah, really?
It did really well, so I'm not shocked that they're making a third one. I'm if they're announcing it officially, they would have already been slowly developing, not pre-developing it while they were finishing off the marketing for 2, I reckon.
I guess it could have went both ways too, right? Based on the super successful launch of 2, they were probably just we've got to tell people that we're going to already be working on 3, just because they don't want the hype to die down.
We made so much money that we're just going to do it. We haven't started it yet, but we're going to do it. But that could be the case. We don't get to know, but
right, yeah.
they probably had like an inkling of how well it'll do. And Warhammer stuff
yeah.
just
People love
flies
Warhammer.
off shelves.
I personally,
The peop-
like I was talking to you just before, I've only played one Warhammer game, and it was the MMO, and I don't even know how long that lived. And other than that, I haven't done any Warhammer stuff. Ashamed to say.
I've done all the Total Wars and the stuff around that. Like, I've not gotten into the Vermintide as well. And what's the new Vermintide 1 and 2 I've done.
And then
the new
wasn't
one,
it Darktide?
Darktide, that's the one.
See, I know these, but I haven't played them. I think I have Vermintide 1 and 2, but
I
never
kind of
launched
forget
them.
that they're Warhammer. Like, sometimes I just think of them like, oh, this is that standalone game that's definitely not part of this massive, bigger thing, but yes, it is.
Yeah. But yeah,
You forget
Space Marine
sometimes.
3 in development officially. So that's good for you fans out there or people looking to try it out.
Yeah, you want to take the next one?
Yeah. So you guys know about like games like Lethal Company, content warning, things like that. We had Repo come out recently, and it is hitting by storm. Like, it got announced, seemed all right to me, and then now it's number 64 on the Steam charts, lifetime concurrent players. I think we just looked up 236,000 concurrent players in a 24-hour period, and it looks like it's a riot. Kieran, you got to play it a little bit, right? I haven't touched it yet.
It's really funny because I got told, my brother was just like, oh, play this with us, and I was playing some other games with Caitlin, who's my partner, and doing some other things. And I was like, oh, I'll get to it because like him and his group play a lot of these like sort of party games, like this or Lethal Company, and I finally got to it like 6 days later after he first told me. I'm like, are you guys still playing this? Because like it's sometimes one of those games where like they'll play it like heavy for 3 days and they're like, yeah, we're just never touching it again. We got the enjoyment out of it. But no, I sat down and played it with him. It's really fun. To me, it feels exactly like Lethal Company. You're doing the same thing, like going in, getting the money and stuff, but it feels so much more cohesive. Not to shade on Lethal Company at all, but that felt like it didn't feel as put together. Like the core gameplay was there, but it didn't feel as polished. Whereas this, like it just gels really well. It feels really good to play it. The enemies feel a bit more threatening, which is good for the type of horror aesthetic that it is. That's my take on it anyway.
I was gonna say the Lethal Company. I played for a couple days. When you say the enemies in Repo feel more threatening, I can't tell you an enemy that I survived against in Lethal Company. But what we were saying about like Repo feeling more polished, like Lethal Company, they did like pioneer this, right? This wave of games coming out. So it was the first
they
of
made
its
heaps of
kind.
money as well. Like
Which is hard to do. Like, and now
content warning headliners, all this sort of
they
party.
all saw it, and they could take the foundation and improve upon it. So I guess I would expect a game like Repo to refine it and take it to the next level, which is good.
Yeah, and I think we'll just see more and more of these types of games coming out
so well,
for the near future. Mm-hmm. It's going to be the same as like when Vampire Survivors came out, and then we saw 74 Vampire Survivors. So we're going to get
and admittedly so, those have sucked so many hours out of my life because it's so easy. Well, I think it's the being able to pick it up and put it down, do a run for 20 minutes and just forget about it rather than a deep story game where I don't want to stop.
See, I'll play something like Game Dev Tycoon for that. Anyway, like they're doing really well. I don't see that slowing down anytime soon with all the streamers I've seen playing it.
Same.
I'm seeing like streamers that I know that like won't pick up things day one. They sort of wait around, and now they're starting to pick it up and stuff. So like it's got a bit of life into it. And they've already done a few updates, I think, and if they make more content, it's just going to get better.
And yeah, I'll give it a try here once. We'll definitely be playing it at some point, so we'll see.
It's going to be fun. So yeah, next, Lego is taking their video game dev in-house. So they currently work with, I think it's like TT Plays or something. Okay. They make like the Skywalker saga they just brought out. Some of the like Lego City, insert Lego game here with popular IP like Marvel or Harry Potter or whatever. Yeah, so that they're gonna. I don't know if they're working with TT Games to do that, or if they're just gonna bring it in, make their own studio inside Lego as a company to do that. I'll put the article up. I didn't see too much about it, but I think it's an interesting change. Like they've been so successful with those games, I'm curious as to why
I was just gonna say
change
that.
it at all.
Yeah, and what are we gonna notice in those changes with them taking dev in house?
So yeah, like I could see it going like maybe they have some secret up their sleeve that they're not telling anyone. It goes really well, or it could just blow up in their face. Disney have tried this many of times to make their own Disney studios to make games, and it always fails. Like one thing they know is like movies and like that animation stuff, but that does not apply. I've actually worked for a company that did a Disney game, and the way that their producers and stuff think about development and like it works really well for movies and animation because like they have that like sheen of quality that they want, and it's just like no, you actually gotta, especially because we're working on a mobile game, cut corners essentially to get that same the same model that works on TV, and like how good fidelity isn't going to work on an old console or a mobile phone. At least not when I was working on it. Like they're probably getting more towards that now, but when you take a company that has a specific way of doing things, especially at the level of quality of Disney or Lego, sometimes it's hard to make that run in like your 60 FPS environment where you get people that are really good at making the illusion that something's perfect, which I think game developers really do. They're like, all right, we're going to cut corners here, here, and here, but the user's not going to notice because we've designed it in like a really good way. Because that's how like game physics is basically done. It's just lots of cheating in maths.
Yeah, and then, like you said, they've perfected their trade with film and stuff and animation, but being able to make it run on a potato is a whole different story.
Yeah, very much so. I wonder. I'd have to look this up because I don't actually know. But the Lego Epic deal where they had Lego World stuff in Fortnite. I wonder who did that for them. If that was in house, or someone else, or Epic did it. I'm not sure.
I feel like Epic would have done it just for the sole fact that like all the skins and everything went over into it from Fortnite. Which, that's the only reason I would assume, because they basically things like you would get in regular Fortnite would just instantly be available.
Yeah, Epic probably just got a license to do it, and they got a payday, so makes sense. All right, next on the list.
We got Silent Hill F got announced, which if you played Silent Hill 2 Remake, you know it was wildly successful. And I was actually misinformed about how I was going to talk about this briefly. I thought this was the first Silent Hill game that wasn't a remake since they had put out the PT demo for the Silent Hills game that got canceled. But then I found that when Silent Hill 2 Remake came out, they also released a free full-storied Silent Hill game called Silent Hill Short Message. So I didn't know that. Thankfully, I looked a little deeper into it. But this Silent Hill game, Silent Hill F, is going to be like a fresh take in 1960s like Japanese culture, and super in the culture, like the way things were. Like there's disclaimers talking about how this does not like portray their views. It's just based on the culture at the time and things like that. Looks pretty scary. If you guys haven't seen the trailer, you should definitely look up the trailer for Silent Hill F. I think it came out 2 or 3 days ago now at the time of recording this, so it looks interesting.
I think it'll be Silent Hill is just a very cool universe that they built there. Like completely effed up, but cool.
I never played anyone until I played Silent Hill 2 Remake, and now it makes me want to like dive down the rabbit hole. But I also scare really easily.
I think I was like 10, and my dad and my uncle were like playing it when we had the PlayStation or something on the TV back in the lounge room. Like, definitely a game I should not have been watching being played, but it was fun.
That was me with Resident Evil. My uncles would be playing it, and I'd watch them playing that at 8 to 10 years old, and it's still like scarring for its
Yeah.
time, for sure. All right.
All right, Assassin's Creed Shadows. You've
Yeah.
you've done probably a lot more Assassin's Creeds than me, so
No,
no,
admittedly, no. I've played Assassin's Creed 1 and 2 and Unity.
you haven't played Black Flag.
Yeah, I haven't played Black Flag. But Unity was like the biggest one that I played and put the most time into because I could play with friends. But I
Yeah,
haven't played
fair
any of the newer ones.
So I've seen Caitlin play the Egyptian one. That looked pretty cool. Black Flag for me was like sort of the quintessential one where I'm like, this is amazing. I would love more of this. And Ubisoft have not done more of it. Then they've done Skull and Bones, which I think it's safe to say most people think is not good.
I played it
there
at
are
launch.
definitely people that enjoy it, but
Yeah, I mean, it was
Yeah.
okay. I played it for a couple days. Like, I think I put in like a week's worth of efforts to play here and there, and I just, it's cool for what it is. But it's the depth is only like on the surface. Like, there's not much
Yeah.
after that. So, it wasn't a long-term investment for me like I thought it was going to be, because it was like, it's been in development for X amount of years, and they've got this hype around it. Then the hype died down, and then it came out.
I think after year 5, we've definitely gone on a tangent, but after year 5 of that, I'm like,
Yeah.
it's not going to be good. They're just trying to get it out.
Mm-hmm.
For Assassin's Creed Shadows anyway, it's basically they're looking for investors. Like, if Assassin's Creed Shadows doesn't do well, what happens to Ubisoft? I think they're gonna get bought up by an investment company, and they're just gonna try and sell as much as they can. Different IPs will go to different studios, so you'll have your Fallout, your Far Cry's, your Assassin's Creed, that new
Ghost
Star Wars Outlaws
Recon,
game.
your
Like they do
Rainbow
quite
Six.
a lot.
Yeah.
Because they got a new Rainbow Six thing coming out soon as well.
it's in testing right now. It's just the complete overhaul of Siege. They're reinventing it.
Which it feels like they're just doing to grab money, maybe. Because did it need reinventing?
I mean, from what I've seen, the gameplay was still relevant today. It still looked good.
Yeah.
And then the overhaul, it says new sound design, new destructible, environment stuff, and all of that. So
So a bit of an engine upgrade. And this is probably stuff, if they really wanted, they could have done in the version they've got now.
Yeah, they probably just, we're at the point where they're like, this is so highly successful, we shouldn't make a Siege 2. Let's just dial it up and maybe give it some things that we've already been working on behind the scenes.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Yeah, but hopefully this does well. Assassin's Creed Shadows, it looks interesting. I like the premise of it. We'll see what happens. It comes out in...
I think it's a topic people will really like. I think people are just so burnt out on Ubisoft games, which might be their problem.
It could be. When was the last time they put out a new game that turned into like a franchise like Assassin's Creed or Far Cry?
I'm not sure. I think they were hoping that may have happened with Star Wars Outlaws, because like the Star Wars IP is endless, like many of the big IPs. So
Yeah.
like if you get a hit game, you could get like a lot out of it. We'll see. We'll check back in like 2 or 3 episodes to see if they've sold off their company yet.
Yeah, the game comes out on March 20th, so we'll see how it fares. We're going to be... we didn't even let you guys know. We're going to be doing this fortnightly for now, and if it goes well, we'll hope to maybe do it every week moving forward.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll check back in with y'all.
Best thing you can do is review our podcast on whatever platform you're listening to it on. I'll tell you more about that at the end.
Yeah.
All right. Elder Scrolls remake.
Yeah. So as I was scraping the internet, I saw on, I believe, Rock Paper Shotgun that there was an official confirmation that an Elder Scrolls Oblivion remake could be arriving as soon as April, which is next month, at the latest June, which is going to be just like an asset overhaul, prettied up, functionality improvements and things like that to bring us Oblivion again.
I think that'd be cool. It's a decent game. the one I would love to see an official remake for is still Morrowind. If that had just the way the skills worked in that and the stories. The problem is if they remade Morrowind, it would not be the same game, because what was really good about it for a lot of RPGers was you didn't have all the help of like modern day quest systems and stuff. So like
True.
there's stuff like where you had to like get yourself killed to finish the quest because there was like someone who was going to revive you straight away and things like that. And working that stuff out like felt so rewarding, which I think that's been taken out of a lot of video games.
Yeah, and it sucks because that's where I get a lot of satisfaction in games is figuring things out myself. I don't like to have to follow a guide, things like that. But a lot of games these days, the guide is basically built into the game. Kind of like you said, it's like they're taking away, figuring things out on your own, which it's rough. But
Yeah.
I also get it. You got to cater to all different types of entertainment enjoyers. So it's a double-edged sword.
I'd love if games like that came up with a pop-up at the start being like, hey, I want the quest experience or the easy experience sort of thing.
Yeah, that's all they need, really.
But I'm keen to see how it goes. I think the world's really cool. I just not the biggest fan of how Bethesda have done their games in the last few years. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we will.
Speaking of the old giants like Ubisoft and Bethesda, Blizzard are not doing a BlizzCon for 2025. They said they're going to be back in 2026, but I kind of doubt it. Their games just aren't hitting like they used to. Like Overwatch is dead. I think Diablo did alright based on nostalgia, but I wouldn't call it a slam dunk like they would probably be used to.
Yeah, and Diablo's got some really heavy competition right now with a couple other titles that have come out recently, and we won't go into a whole lot of detail, but Diablo 4, they did what a lot of games do, which is take things from the previous game and omit them from the new game, and then they reintroduce them into the game later, like it's a feature.
It's the
I hate that.
Sims method.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I played the betas in Diablo 4 all the way through the server slam, and then I played the first 2 seasons, but there's nothing that's bringing me back. Not even a lot of the changes that they have made recently, which a lot of people are singing praises about. It's just not enough for me.
That's very fair. I think that's the same for a lot of people, and I think the thing that's going to help keep them together forever is World of Warcraft. Does Blizzard slowly turn into the World of Warcraft studio only and let these other things, I think they'll always get, they're Microsoft owned now, I think they'll always get funding to do things like Diablo. I'd love to see more StarCraft and StarCraft related projects, but I don't think I will.
It would be nice, but they are held together by Warcraft for sure. It's a money making machine for them, and like you said, they've got backing too. So you're probably right. We'll probably see a bunch of content for Diablo 4, and then a handful of years down the road, we'll see Diablo 5 and so on. And hopefully, like you said, StarCraft will make some kind of a return.
I think it will. RTSs, they'd have to completely change the format to do that, and I don't think if they did that, they wouldn't attract new customers, and they'd alienate the ones that are lifelong StarCraft fans. I don't think there's a win there. But they also would know, there's not a win releasing another RTS. There's just not the fan base to do RTSs at the moment.
Yep, it's changing. 4X games they're doing fine. It's a lot different, though.
I think that's what happened. RTS changed over the last 20, 30 years. RTS went one of two ways. The people that really like the action and the micro have gone to MOBAs, and the people that liked the strategy and all that have gone over to 4X, and these two communities are really diverged over time.
Yeah, they still got the diehards, but it's not going to carry a new title.
Yeah, it's hard. I have a few friends that are really into RTSs, and they're good. It's just it's hard for a massive AAA to put that money into it. There's not investors aren't going to see the return.
especially knowing that like they've got enough R&D and like analytics to go off of that, they know it just won't shine.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens next year. If anything, well, I don't think BlizzCon's going to be a thing. I think it's going to get tied into a larger Microsoft thing with Bethesda and Blizzard and Microsoft games.
It'd probably be the smart thing to do, but
It will save them the most money.
yeah. Got a lot of BlizzCon enjoyers though, so they'll probably be fine either way.
But they'll be like the BlizzCon section at the bigger thing.
Yeah.
That's what I reckon will happen. No idea. That's my guess, just based on Microsoft now culling a lot of the studios and making them smaller, which they said they wouldn't do. But they're like, oh, this was really expensive to buy a bunch of things, and now the market's crashed, and now we don't have money. So,
only time will tell.
yeah.
We still got a year and however long before that comes to fruition, or we get an announcement before then. We'll see.
We'll see. All right, so that's kind of the highlights done for the episode. So we're going to just chuck into some topics that sort of we want to talk about. The first topic for me being a lot of... I mean, I don't know if you all heard, but the US got a new president, and there's a bit of a trade war going on. Don't know if anyone knows. But doing that has already had a significant cost on especially like the tabletop industry and like anyone with physical goods, which a lot of the AAAs make money out of doing collector's editions and stuff. Mm-hmm. Those are going to get more expensive. Stores like... what's the one in America? So for Australia, also we're doing this across the world. Like Ronnie's in the US, I'm in Australia.
So, we have like GameStop and stuff like that.
Yeah, like all of those are struggling as it is. This is going to make it so much harder. Like importing Nintendo product and consoles with the 25%.
You're gonna have to go digital fully at that point.
Yeah, like I don't. Because PlayStation and Nintendo are not US. Microsoft is, but I still think their consoles would be imported anyway. Like,
oh yeah,
it was 25% the last time I checked, but he's upping it to 50% for some countries. If those consoles like, what you pay $1,000 for a PlayStation now, that'll be $1,500 soon.
Yeah, that's AUD by the way. But yeah, I mean,
no, our AUD for a PlayStation is like 1,200.
Oh, also, so like a PS5 here is I think $500 US.
The new one,
the one that Pro might be $600. I think. Hold on, now I gotta look.
I thought it was quite expensive.
PS5 Pro. We're doing some on the fly stuff. Because I thought it was only $500. Oh no, $700. $699.
Yeah, like, it's ridiculous.
Holy crap! I was way off. Yeah, so that would be going over $1,000 easily with tariffs.
So like, it's
ridiculous.
Who can afford that?
And now the MSRP of the Switch 2 in US is $400. That's gonna skyrocket because that was estimated before all this happened. Like you're going from paying $300 for the original Switch to now you're gonna probably be paying more than double. It's not looking good for gamers right now, and you know, in any aspect. Paper, like TTRPG, anything.
And for console gamers, they like buying physical. A lot of them still like buying physical products. I know that happens a lot less on PlayStation and Xbox, but like everyone I know has a Switch. They'll occasionally buy a digital game, but like especially like your Mario Kart, Mario Parties, everyone likes having that case. Everyone likes buying the cartridge. That's
big
going to go
thing
up.
with consoles too is install size, especially with the Switch. They're not big. Like I think my Switch has a 64 gig memory, and granted, Switch games are a little smaller, but still, you're uninstalling games if you're buying everything digitally, and you're just like kind of hot swapping. When you have a cartridge, throw it in there. It's a smaller little size, and that's fine.
For Switch games, definitely, because they put most of the game on there. I know I bought Final Fantasy something on my PlayStation 4 and put it in, and it was like, all right, 60 gig download. I'm like, all right, I'll play it tomorrow.
Yeah, and I like my occasional steelbook for like games I'm passionate about, like Final Fantasy. I bought collector's edition of 7 Remake, 7 Rebirth. Haven't even opened Rebirth, by the way, since February of last year. But yeah, I like my physical editions. But if those are going to be being raised by 50%, I can't justify that.
Yeah. So going on more from this, things like Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder and all that thing that they're very physical. Like people buy PDFs to more convenience when they're doing things on the computer, but when they're at the table, people really like having the books and the minis and stuff. That's going to put some companies out of business, I reckon.
Yeah.
Because the US is kind of the center point for tabletop. As like I've been trying to get a lot of stuff done over there, and I'm lucky to have like friends like Ronnie and our friend Noble. But like right now, everything's sort of already bought and paid for, and all the cons are organized for like PAX for Gen Con, so like tabletop and video games. Like a lot of physical product gets put into these things. A lot of that physical product gets put on pallets and brought over like months in advance for these cons. So this year, I think everything's already sort of been paid for, and like they're just going ahead. But I'm wondering how the end of this year and like into next year works. Of like these conventions going well, how like all the conventions themselves probably are fine, but all the stalls and exhibitors there are like, well, how do we like we're going here and we're putting prices up 50%. Like, is it worth it for them at that point? Because they're not making 50% more money. They're probably losing 50% of their customers because they're pricing themselves out.
Yeah, for sure. Trying to just recover that. It's going to, they're trying to hit, break even, and the customers are going to definitely fall off, which really sucks. And in turn, you said like you think the conventions will be fine, but if 50% of the attendees, not the consumers, but even 50% of the stall holders don't come because they can't justify it, then what happens?
Yeah, the conventions, when I meant with the conventions will be fine, like their direct prices don't go up, but like all the stuff that their content, their exhibitors, the people traveling in, the stuff for them goes up, which in turn makes the convention less money because less people are going, less people are partaking. Someone who went to 3 cons might only go to 2 or 1 now because they just don't have the money.
Right, and then one of the worst parts thinking about that is like the convention may not lose money on increases in pricing, but they might find it not worth it to run the con if they're not getting
we've got
people.
like PAX West, PAX Unplugged, PAX East. Like, if it's just too expensive, does that go back into PAX Prime like it used to be, where it's just the one PAX? Because what's really awesome now is there's Unplugged people who like tabletop. There's East and West for like convenience of location. You sort of get sort of the same experience at both, but if you can't fly across the country to West or go to PAX Oz, like so for us, like going to PAX Oz is the cheaper way to do it because we can't fly over to the US, and like a lot of Southeast Asian countries also go to PAX Oz. Like if that all just becomes one thing that's in one spot in the world because that's all they can afford to do, like that
it's gonna
sucks.
be real hard. Yeah. And they may get a good turnout, but now you're condensing 4 good turnouts into 1, which
they don't have it. They could open up 6 more PAXs tomorrow and they'd sell them out still.
Yeah.
So I don't think turnout's not a problem in the current climate, but it might be going forward. Which it sucks.
We can only hope that a resolution happens instead of this back and forth bickering. I feel like, without getting too political, it's like watching children,
Oh, it is actual watching children. Even if everything gets rolled back, it's only been like a month and a half. But let's say in 5 months, they're like, this was a terrible idea. All the tariffs are rolled back. All the planning, there's definitely going to be conventions. There's going to be events. There's going to be products that aren't being printed because they looked at the numbers today, or in 4 weeks' time. They're like, we can't afford to do it. We're pulling our product for 2026.
Yep.
And then in 5 months, they're going to be like, oh, we're reversing everything. Everything's cheaper again. One, there's going to be people that don't lower their prices. They're like, we're already charging this. We can just profit the money we save. But also there's going to be people like, well, we lost our chance to sign that deal. Like 2026 is out of the question enough. We might come back in 2027. So like I think 2026 you're going to see so many less physical based media.
And you say, it might come back in 2027. That's if they can weather the storm of 2026, waiting for their opportunity to come back. That's really going to hit a lot of smaller groups pretty hard.
Yeah, like thinking of like Comic Cons as well, like all the physical product of that, and they have one in almost like every city, like in Australia, in Europe, in America. Like there's Comic Cons.
I mean, you
everywhere.
saw in Michigan there was a few Comic Cons all happening within a couple months.
Yeah, and are they going to start pushing themselves together? Because like I can imagine they run on a razor's edge of profit with the amount that they have. They're going for, I don't want to say they're going for quantity over quality, but they like their reach.
Yeah, and I'm sure they
value.
Affected? I'm sure they value the, like you were talking about, convenience of location for people. If you're only a few cities closer, some people that might be the determining factor. A lot of younger people attend these cons and cosplayers, and they carpool and things like that.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough next year, especially. I think it's rough now, but I think the
like you said, everything was already set in stone.
The fallout is going to be
moving forward. Yeah,
because like if you've already paid for like you're organizing PAX West or like a San Diego Comic Con, right now all that stuff's already like you're just doing a bit of logistics at this point, like talking to your vendors and stuff. But everything's like you've booked in that venue like last year. You've booked in like your main acts, like your biggest guests and stuff. Like all that's already sorted for the most part.
Yep,
it's all like the little logistics.
We're gonna see the real aftermath next year when they're planning.
Yeah, like when they're finishing up those things now, and they're like, all right, on to next year. They're looking at it like, ugh, that's looking a bit costly. Mm-hmm. Or like they're like, oh, that guest that we really wanted is like, no, I'm not traveling. I don't have that's not worth it for me to go. Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, well, we'll check back and we'll see. Like, I think we're going to see a lot of announcements over this year.
Oh, yeah. Even over the next couple of months, we're probably going to see a lot of changes because these companies and the people like in charge are going to see how many businesses are having to dial back because of it. And hopefully they see it before it makes a significant impact.
Yeah.
Like you said, we'll check back. We'll probably touch on it pretty frequently if we can.
Absolutely. All right. So that's my sort of thing on business and tariffs and conventions. As someone who's trying to get into TTRPG, it's a big worry for me. But
yeah, especially with all the hard work you've put in the last couple of months, specifically for your TTRPG. Like you're finally like just doing all these big things and getting into these cons, and now you've got to worry about if you can even stay in the United States, helping or having, like myself or Noble attend these things, because who knows if you'll even be able to do it. That sucks.
Yeah. It's life. I can only roll with the things. We'll see how it goes. Things like that Pies, I think, might be good for me.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right. Take it away from the next one.
Yeah. So I this has been on my mind a lot lately because being in the content creation space, being a person that streams on Twitch and YouTube and things like that, all I hear like when I'm looking on X or Blue Sky, I'll see people say, oh, there's such a gaming drought. Oh, there's nothing new to play. Where in my head, there are so many games. I have hundreds of games that I've never even launched because I don't have the time in the day, and this is what I do. I have 700 plus games on my wish list of games that I'd like to touch. And I really think the last couple of years that there have been really significant and meaningful releases that have come out too. I think when people think or say gaming drought, they really are only following the super hyped up games and not the hidden gems that are all around us, whether it's on PC or on console or whatnot. I think there are so many quality games these days, especially in 2024 and 2025, that I don't think I could be in a gaming drought for the next 5 years because there's so much to tackle for me. And I just it really kind of like grinds my gears, which is such a typical thing for people to say, but like for gaming or people in gaming to say that there's nothing to play. And that's just something that rubs me the wrong way.
So I think there's a few things to this. One, go onto the Steam store today. A lot of the games that you were probably looking at 2 or 3 years ago are going to be popping up on the sales features. Like Steam, once it has a game that they know sells well, they're going to keep presenting that to you. So for your average user who's not diving in, looking for new stuff, they're just looking at the front page and seeing like what's on sale, what's available, they're going to get shown a lot of the same things. So to your average punter, like it's going to feel like, oh, I've seen this group of games on sale before. Like, I'm not going to pick any of them up. So it kind of does feel like there's a gaming drought for some people. I guess the next part of it is you're someone who plays a lot of different things, but if you're in the RTS space or 4X space and you're like, oh, there's just another Civilization coming out this year. That's how it will feel to some people, and like they'll feel like there's a bit of a drought. The next thing is lots of studios are closing. They're not making those big AAA games that they said they were going to, and like it's going to be a lot more indies that don't know how to market or get their release out to that player that might be the perfect customer for their game. It's a lot harder. So I think there's just all these things put together that to someone who's like not knowledgeable about the space, it will feel like only whatever is at the big game shows in June, that's all they'll see.
Yeah. The all the announcements made by the studios and the consoles and all that. I guess you're right. I am thinking of it from my own perspective, being a pretty heavy variety gamer, and there are a lot of gamers that they only enjoy certain genres. So that does make a lot of sense. For like I said, for me, there's like an endless sea of games to play with not enough time in the day to do it. But yeah, that actually does make a lot more sense, and I guess I should think of it from outside of my own perspective.
Yeah, like I think about it like there are a lot of people that just play The Sims. To them, like there's not even a gaming community. There's the Sims community, and they're just like, well, when's the next expansion coming out? Like to that player, there's probably not a drought. There's always another expansion for Sims coming out. But like, if you think of that mindset for other genres, other things, someone who's looking for like those really big RPGs like Skyrim or Avowed, they don't come out that often. And there are people that like, that's the type of game they like to play.
Yeah, and I think that's where they lean on like modding communities, because you're right. Those are such vast games that you can't even expect games like that to come out, so often.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
There's definitely like, if you look at Steam this year, I think it was like 23,000 games or something come out. Half of those, not half, but a lot of those are going to be shovelware. Then there's going to be ones that are just not the ones you want to like. You're gonna be surprised about, like, you'll whittle that down into like maybe there's 10 things that came out this year that you actually are looking forward to enjoying. And then there's the like multiplayer games, which you're looking for the next repo, like where everyone's enjoying it and playing it. Like there's a lot of times where like only half the group wants to play it, so it just doesn't get played.
Yeah. And that can lead into the drought for you, how you're feeling, because something that you might want doesn't sit well with whoever you want to play it with, and then that just out of sight, out of mind now. Like that's another game that isn't your game at that point.
So I don't think there's a gaming drought. Overall, there's more games than there ever has been. I think there is less games now that we have niches, and like people have become to the taste of like, I can play what I want and it's what's exactly for me. There's a lot more. It's a lot harder for that, especially with the amount of studios closing.
And now that you're mentioning that, I think with the amount of games that are coming out, people kind of maybe feel they have to niche down because there's so many games and you can't get to everything. Like, so you pick your favorite genre and that's what you're looking for mostly. Even if you might enjoy other things, like that's where you're, like if you have limited time, that's what where you want to spend your time. So yeah, that makes sense. Again, I don't think there is a gaming drought, but you're very much right in the sense that maybe out of the 25,000 games that come out in a year, there's only a handful that are the ones that have piqued your interest.
Yeah, I think you see it as a streamer. Like, you'll stream some games and people just don't want to watch it.
Yeah.
Whereas there's other games that like people like will flock to. It's the same with game releases.
Yeah. I do try a lot of new things, and it doesn't sit well with a lot of community members. And even if I'm really liking it, sometimes I got to make a decision on whether or not I want to keep playing it. I could play it offline if I wanted to. I don't generally do that, or move on to the next thing. So yeah,
exactly. So it's hard. So I think that's as far as we can take that topic. So thank you for coming to the XP report. We're going to be, as Ronnie said, we're going to be here every 2 weeks. Where can you find us? Well, if you're already listening, you found us. That's great. If you want to show a friend, we're going to try and be on everything. So Apple, Spotify, whatever we can be. We'll have at some point a website where you can get pointed to everywhere that we are. Best thing you can do for the show is review it. So go on to Apple, Spotify, whatever the thing is, and just say how much you enjoyed listening to our terrible opinions.
Yeah.
So that's the best. For me, you can find me at Scalebound Games, A Few Dragons, or just like search Kieran on any social platform, and I'll be posting something somewhere.
And for me, you can find me on I think every social media platform. My name's Ronnie Crazy, RonnieKrazy, and you'll see how little I post outside of live streaming.
You really do post very little.
I do.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for listening. We'll be back next week.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, listening, whatever it may be. We'll see you guys.
See ya.